here, okay? So I'm hoping you guys are ready for it. Let me make sure my setup is right here. Let's see what we got. All right, let's go with this. This will do. So there's this guy, right? That is, let's see, he's on this side, right? This guy, Shink Uygur. He's from the Young Turks, okay? And, you know, I wasn't into the political thing. I wasn't. But because it became such a big talking point, I had to investigate. I had to find out, like, what's really going on? What are people really talking about? This guy, Shink Uygur, and I think I'm pronouncing it right. It might not be, but who cares? I'm not a big fan of this dude. He has been crying on Piers Morgan. And I mean, this guy's just, he's a lot. He's a lot. He's overly emotional, in my opinion. And then he can be overly offensive at times. Like, he gets real emotional. And so he takes these personal attacks and he be telling people to shut up. He just, I don't really like the guy. But in light of what's been going on lately, there was this, the Turning Point America Fest, right? And they did a few interviews. This guy, Charlie Kirk, which is on the other side, and Shink Uygur, they did a little kind of a, I guess, an on-stage interview. And I'm not a big Charlie Kirk fan. I think he's all right. You know, he goes out there, he does his thing, he makes his little points, and he, you know, he stands on his business. So I got to respect that. But to see these two guys talking, because they kind of sit on the opposite sides of things, it was actually a really great conversation. And I think because of the reason for the season, we need some unity, right? Especially after what happened in this most recent election. I think that unity is a really big thing. And having these conversations and discussions is how we're really going to move into the future. America's not one-sided. It's a melting pot, right? And in order for that pot to cook well, everything has to be mixed in just right. So I want y'all to just take a moment, because like I said, I'm feeling thankful, because this guy that I really don't like came out here and he was talking some real stuff. And this is, I'll be honest with you, just like the first time ever that I'm like, all right, for this Shink Uygur guy, I don't like this dude. You have to see him on some other stuff. This will definitely paint him in a much better light, unless you're one of those, phone's ringing. If you can hear that, don't worry about it. But yeah, if you can hear what he's talking about, make sure you let me know in the chat, all right?
McConnell and Dick Cheney our whole lives. Take the win. Take the win. Now, what we need to do in the Democratic Party is we need to do likewise. We need to have a revolt against the Joe Bidens, the Kamala Harrises, and the Nancy Pelosi's. And the Hillary Clintons, and now all of a sudden the Dick Cheneys. What are they doing on our side? Are you guys nuts? Right?
I have to interject. When all of a sudden Kamala Harris is doing the Liz Cheney thing, I said, does she want to lose? I mean,
what's amazing is I said the same thing. Look, Dick Cheney polls at 13%. What lunatic thought it was a good idea to wrap yourself around Dick Cheney?
Don't wrap yourself around Dick, is what he's saying.
22 years ago, longest running show in internet history, first ever YouTube partner with original YouTubers. One of the driving forces was get Dick Cheney out of office, right? And now for Kamala Harris to come full circle and say, oh, I've got 90 corporate CEOs backing me, and I've got all these executives on my side, and I've got Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney on my side. It was so counterproductive. It's not what the left wing stands for. It's not what the Democratic Party should be about. So the problem is the establishment. They are controlled by the donor class, and mainstream media is their marketing arm. They do not do news. They do propaganda.
Now, like I said, I'm not a big fan of this guy, but he's making a really good point about how things went left on the left and where he sits in the middle and trying to have the conversation. And I got to respect it, man. I didn't think that there would be the olive branch extensions from so many different people at this point, because these folks, a lot of them, like this guy was really, he was a forget anybody that was not Democrat. He was like, you must be sick. You should be burned at the stake. I'm not saying he really said that, but that's how he was coming across. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's at this conference, which is a conservative conference, and they booked him knowing that he's normally on the opposite side of things. So it was kind of refreshing to hear a conversation that seems more unifying than divisive right now. And because this is the holidays, we got to pay respect to that. Now, why this thing is only playing in one side, I can't, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Mainstream media, you think is against you. You think they're against the right wing. But they also hate Bernie Sanders. And they also hate me. And they also hate the populists on the left. What mainstream media really loves is the establishment and the elites. They're against all of us combined. And if we dare unite on issues we agree on, they will be livid, and it'll be a beautiful day in America.
You hear that? He said, if we dare unite on the issues that we actually agree on and come up against all of the goofiness that they're doing in there, that's where the real change will happen. So I'm feeling you on this one, Chink. We'll beef again next week, sir. But for right now, we cool. We cool. I appreciate it because you got to understand, these folks have an outlet. People watch this guy. I don't so much because, like I said, he just be overly emotional about everything, be sweating and everything. It's just a lot. But just being honest, this dude Chink gets on my damn nerves. So I had to swallow my pride just to even give him 5 minutes to talk. And I said, let me see what the hell this man talking about. Because every time I listen to him talk, I get frustrated. This is the first time in my life that I can listen to him and be like, you know what? I like what this guy is saying. I like where he's coming from. He's not being overly dumb emotional about it. He's stating his point. And his point is, we need to come together on the issues that we agree on. Just like what happened in that most recent bill. But we ain't going to talk about that because everybody still think Elon Musk is going to shut the government down. But we're not going to get into that.
That is correct. I mean, you were kicked off of some of the cable news channels for having heterodox opinions on certain issues. So let's kind of look at the last couple of years. We can go back to the Bernie Sanders thing. Explain to us, why is it that right-wing revolution was successful and the Bernie Sanders with 2 attempts actually won the primary in 2016, and he had it stolen. Again, stolen election talk can be a little controversial. They stole it from Bernie Sanders in 2016. Why was that revolution not successful?
Yeah, I think it was because Donald Trump was a celebrity, and they didn't take him seriously, so they made the mistake of giving him mainstream media coverage. And so they thought, and if you remember, Bill Clinton had this brilliant idea, we'll encourage Donald Trump to run on the Republican side, and he'll destroy the Republican Party. How'd that work out for you, Bill?
And so he's taking shots at Bill Clinton. So
no, don't do that. Don't do that. Because what I sensed was you need a non-politician to lead the revolt. So, because all the politicians, and right now they're having a conversation on the Democratic side about 2028, and the only people they mention are politicians. And my answer to that is hell no. Okay? Because the politicians are used to the corruption. They grew up in the corruption. They like the corruption. They got their power through the corruption.
He's
so
also
I don't want that. I don't need that. And so when Trump came on, they gave him coverage. And here's when look, some people think that things changed after the election. No, I've been saying this from day one. Right. And so back in 2016, actually 2015, after I think it was the second debate, when Trump was on stage and he said, I gave all these guys money and they did exactly what I wanted. At that point, everyone on earth, certainly in the establishment and mainstream media, says he has no chance of winning, none. I went on the Young Turks and I said, he's going to win the Republican primary, okay? Because people hate corruption, and they know it in their bones, okay?
Okay, well then, why you been on that side arguing about the whole thing the whole time then, Chinky Chank? You've been yelling for like 8 years, man. Now all of a sudden he didn't calm down, he's trying to be reasonable. I don't know, man. I don't know. Somebody must have gave him a good talking to, because he is as calm as I ever seen him. This is strong Jay.
Is Trump really not corrupt? Is Trump really going to do the things that he promised? Is he really a populist? I would love to prove me wrong. I would love that, okay? And like, my God, if Trump got money out of politics, one thing we're known for is credit where credit is due, okay? I would give him all the credit in the world. We're not there yet. We're not close to there yet. So when we get into the issues, Hey, how about, and remember, guys, you also have donors. Beware of the donors. Don't forget that, and don't let your guard down.
Beware of the donors. That's the ones.
On the
The
Democratic
Elon
side,
Musk's,
we have
like I
got
said.
to elect a populist. If we don't, we're going to make the same mistake we made when they anointed Hillary Clinton, when they anointed Joe Biden, and when they anointed Kamala Harris. So my Democratic friends, how many times are you going to lose before you realize that mainstream media and the establishment are lying to you?
And so is that energy?
All right, let me pause that, because he's talking about how many times you're going to lose before you realize that the mainstream media and so on and so forth is really run by the establishment. Well, Mr. Chink Uyghur, let's not forget you are part of the mainstream media, sir. So you exposing the people that you work for. You're exposing a problem that you contributed to, honestly. And that's why I didn't like what he was doing. He was overly, like, it's almost like somebody paid him to be overly upset about certain things. And so all of a sudden, now he's like reasonable. And like I said, I'll give credit where credit is due, but you throwing it off like you weren't part of that problem. Like you not owning your piece of it. And I think that's where I'm having an issue with it. I like what he's saying, but I don't like the fact that he's kind of like putting it over here like he wasn't a major part and a major force of mainstream media at the time, especially for the last few years. So, okay. I mean, I'm gonna let you say your thing, but you ain't fooling me, bro. I don't know who gave you a check or who came and talked to you and put a picture on the table and said, hey, go say what the hell we need you to say. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what happened, but I'm just going to say you're not owning your piece of it, though. But I like the point, but you're not owning where you sat in that melee that got created. But it's good that I guess if you're a creator of the melee, and you step outside of it, that's good.
Forefront in the Democrat Party right now, and I'm not saying this facetiously, read us into what the power brokers of the Democrat Party are saying. Are they saying we need to run more to the middle, that we need to embrace more populism? We're hearing some of the names, but what is the vibe of the people that do this for a living?
Yeah, so I can tell you definitively that the Democratic leadership and the Democratic establishment will never voluntarily go in a new direction. They will never voluntarily accept populism. They are built on donor money.
See,
you
hear all this they?
For the donors.
Let me just pause that. You hear all this they are. No, you were. So what, are you not Democrat no more? Like, is that what he's saying? Because he's here with the Republican folks? He keeps using they, like you aren't part of that. I hate when people do that. Like all of a sudden now you over here talking and you're not taking no accountability personally for the fact that you were a major part of that. It's they this and they that. No, we were and I was part of that kind of thing. Take some ownership, chinky chank. Take some of that ownership, bro. I'm here screaming for the past 8 damn years.
To understand is that they're never going to give you what you want incrementally. Martin Luther King talked about the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Oh, if we just go a little further with Joe Biden, he'll give us another crumble and another tiny increment. No, they're going to just pick a new and improved corporate robot like Pete Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom, and they're going to come out with a new script. And they're going to say, I am now a populist, and they will wear flannel shirts, and they'll go to bar ribs, and then they'll sneak out and go to French Laundry, right? So don't believe the corporate robots. Remember how many times they lied to you. We need to do a populist revolt and pick a populist left-winger so we can have a real contest in this country. The establishment Democrats are never going to win. We need to go populist, and the way to do that is not by negotiating with them. It's by defeating them in a primary.
Is the Democrat grassroots, are they invigorated towards that end? Because it seemed as if they weren't obviously thrilled about Biden or Kamala Harris. But you could say whatever you want about Bernie Sanders. I have massive worldview disagreements. He had a legitimate grassroots movement behind him of small dollar donors, of people that were working, of activists. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like that has
PJ Bell, thanks for stopping in the chat. Appreciate you.
And what would it take to awaken that?
And you are correct. He a whole different dude, ain't he?
The Democratic Party and the left, but the two most important ones are the populist.
What is wrong with my monitor?
Bernie Sanders.
I hope it's not glitching out for y'all, because it's glitching out for me. It's cutting on and off for some reason.
But then there's the establishment wing. So the populist wing is already there. That base that was there in 2016 and 2020 still exists. And remember, guys, and I say this to you and I say it to the left wing, Bernie won the first 3 states in 2020. He was this close to winning until Obama and
Sorry
Clyburn
if that's cutting
called
out. I don't
in
know
all
what's
the
going on.
candidates.
Right.
I always
and
have
said,
tech
"You all
issues.
have
It's
to
like
bow
this
to Joe
going
Biden."
joke with
and
me
then
and the
mainstream
technology.
media then said Joe Biden is the greatest, and they started talking about how Bernie Sanders, the most successful Jewish candidate in American history, had followers who were brown shirts and fascists and Nazis. Where have you heard that before? So whenever it's an outsider, all of a sudden mainstream media says fascist, even if it's a Jewish candidate, right? So they use the same tricks. And you guys have been canceled. I've been canceled. They do the same thing to both of us over and over again. So the left-wing populists are ready, but we do need some more votes from people who used to be in the establishment Democratic camp. And why were they in that camp? Because they love corruption, they love war, they love change? No, guys. They were in that camp because mainstream media lied to them. And mainstream media told them,
But you mainstream media, bro, it's frustrating me. He is really externalizing this. And I was trying to give the man props initially for having the discussion with Charlie Kirk, because it is a discussion that needed to be had. But this whole externalizing thing, tell me how they got you on the ticket. Tell me how much they paid you to say what you had to say. Tell me how you got in trouble if you didn't fit the narrative. Like, let's keep it real, bro. Let's keep it 100% real. You are not going to come on here and act like you was over here somewhere and everybody else but you. You was the loudest damn voice on it. You was on Piers Morgan. You was on Fox News. You was on MSNBC. You was on ABC. You was everywhere. Popping up everywhere talking about they. Nah, bro, you. So let's be real. I want to know how you got there, and how, you know, if you feel that way about the views from a certain side, there's nothing wrong with standing on it. But when somebody else win and then you want to come over here on another side acting like you wasn't the loudest voice on the first part. You see what I'm saying? What's the term they call grifter? Isn't that the term? It's a grifter. Yeah, he's a grifter now. He's officially a damn grifter. Like I said, I started with the respect of him having the conversation because I hadn't really seen the whole convo yet. I just saw a couple of moments of it, and I said, oh, this is awesome. Thanks, PJ Bell. Thank you for jumping in the chat. Appreciate the positive feedback. Because I'll be wondering if I'm the only person that sees the BS. That's why I got to purge it on the internet, because I could be just yelling at myself in the room, and, people just think I'm crazy, but appreciate y'all for stopping in. So nonetheless, let me get back to the point here. I don't like Chink, and I like the fact that he wanted to have the conversation, but I need to know what his role really was. He needs to be telling me, look, they paid me X amount of dollars to say YZ to these people and push this narrative for da-da-da-da-da-da-da before you can separate yourself from what was done. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to separate yourself from it. Now, if you just want to own it and say, hey, that's how I felt, that's how it is, I don't care what y'all say, because he could have came out there like that. That's what I would have expected, was he would have been like, look, I don't care if y'all won or not. This is what I stand on. This is where I'm at with it. We could have done better in the election, but I don't care. I hate the dude. I hate Trump. You see what I'm saying? He could have came out there and just stayed his ground. This fool has been on some I hate Trump stuff for like 30 years, if there was a thing for that. Hold on a second. My monitor keeps going out. It's because there's bullshit on my monitor, and my monitor has a bullshit alert on it. And it's going out. Shoot. Stay there. Stay. I'm hoping that's not glitching too bad for y'all, but it's messing up for me. So anyway, I'm going to give him about 2 more minutes of my time, because now I'm getting frustrated, because he ain't yet to say that he has any ownership of any of it. And you're right, PJ Bell. He's only on there because ain't nobody watching him no more. So now he's trying to go somewhere else. We said the word. He's a grifter. He is officially a grifter. You're officially a grifter, Mr. Chink Uger. I hope I don't see you no more. You're pissing me off now. Because, like I said, I'll respect you more if you just stand on what you stand on, and it just is what it is. But if you don't stand on it, then I don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That might just be me. What is going on with this monitor? I don't know what is going on with this monitor right now. But if y'all can see it, then I'm good. Whatever it's doing over here. I don't know what is going on. Bear with me 1 second. Just bear with me 1 second. I got to figure out what's going on. I'm sorry, folks. Now I got it. Come on, monitor. Not right now. I'm having fun with the people. Jeez. I'm sorry, guys, if this is bouncing around right now. This sucks because that means the shorts are going to be messed up. So, anyway, I'm going to give this guy... Oh, you're right, PJ Bell. Now everybody backing out. Like I said, I have more respect for you if you just stand on it. If you feel a certain type of way and that's how you really feel, then you just feel that way. But if you're going to tell me, oh, they're saying this to y'all, they're saying that they're doing this, but you the one that was you were the mouthpiece, bro. Ain't gonna come out to me like, oh, I was impartial. Remember, I like Bernie Sanders, and man, no. You was crying on Piers Morgan. You was crying, and I saw it. He was crying on Piers Morgan. He's a fascist. I don't know what we're gonna do if you elect him. The country's gonna. Man, he was crying on Piers Morgan. You understand what I'm saying? Sweat everywhere. Looked like a stuck pig out there. Now he's over here, they this and they that. Okay. All right. He's with some they them shit, basically. And not with the reality of the fact that he was right in the mix. Right in the front line with a fist pumping. You understand what I'm saying? No justice, no peace. He was on that shit. All right, hold on. Let me make sure that this works.
Oh, Bernie can't win. Bernie
Let me let y'all get another 2 minutes of this before I get overly frustrated. I have blood pressure issues, so I can't do this sometimes.
We can't win, but they're wrong. They're lying. So what I need Democrats to understand is stop believing in Morning Joe and The View and all the garbage on TV.
And you.
So that's a really good point about the media ecosystem.
Everybody, hold up. Did he just name all the anchors but him? Like all the shows but his show? Come on, bro. You bluffing, man.
Yeah,
You're
27 million
bluff.
subscribers, 30 billion views. I think it's fair to say.
No, I'm not saying that sarcastically. I don't know of anyone that comes close. However, do you think there's a robust alternative media
Hold up, did he just flex how many subscribers and stuff he had?
I can say confidently what we have on the right is pretty impressive. We have from podcasting to videos. We don't rely on cable television. Who here listens to podcasts or social media for all your news? Raise your hand. I mean, every single hand
who
goes up.
here, put a thumbs up if you're here for the alternative media. We dig up in there.
Top media to be able to bypass the main networks.
Yeah, so we have TYT as a giant network, but we have a lot of great progressive and populist shows that are not part of TYT that's in the left-wing ecosystem. So I don't think that that's the issue. I don't think that there isn't enough shows. I think that there's a couple others. One, on the right, you guys do a great job of coalescing, okay? So you do a couple of things well. You work together well, and you're more welcoming, if I'm being honest.
You know what it is? I'm going to tell you what I'm realizing. And my boy Brix said this to me before. The right will hold somebody accountable. If Trump don't do something, they will put him out to the stake. You understand what I'm saying? I understand people like, oh, MAGA just loves him. MAGA just loves him. Let him screw something up. They will be up in his ass like a wedgie. That's the part I respect about it. It's like, even if they, like, we're going to get to in a minute with the Matt Gaetz thing. Matt Gaetz was dirty. I knew he was because I told you the man looked like the Joker, and all I saw was villain when I saw him. So when it came out, I said, told you, and I didn't even have to look at the report. But we're going to get to that in a moment. The point I'm trying to make is holding your Congress people and so on and so forth accountable is what Trump and them are running on. You know, when he says some stuff like, look, I'm going to do this in 30 days, or you'll see. Guess what would happen if he don't do it in the 30 days? People going to be on his ass. And he don't want people on his ass. People been on his ass. So the accountability piece is major for me. So with Chink throwing everything off and acting like he wasn't part of the shit, One of the main parts of it, talking about there's good shows over here. Okay, then why are you not talking about your show? See, there we go with the damn monitor again. Why is he not talking about his show as a problem, so to speak? You see what I'm saying? Totally trying to get his situation together because people are leaving his shit. Don't nobody want to hear that craziness with you crying all over the place no more. Now you everywhere but where you supposed to be on your own show. You on Piers Morgan. You on all of this other stuff. Like I said, we don't have to agree on everything, PJ Bell, but we can agree that Chink is a damn grifter. And I like the fact that the conversation is being had. I'm hoping that, just like me personally, that everybody who voted for Trump holds their elected officials accountable. I'm about that. I don't care who it is. I hold my friends accountable, my parents, whoever. We accountable for living here amongst each other and doing the right thing. So whether you're in a high office or whatever, if you're on that goofy, I'm not gonna be nice. Now, don't get it wrong. There are some people that are just die hard on either side. There's some MAGA folks. Trump could shoot somebody in the face in the middle of Walmart, and they would be like, they would literally not care. So there's a certain group of people on both sides that just don't care what's really going on. They just on this side, they go hard on that side, and to a degree, I gotta respect that too, which is what I'm saying about Chink. If he would have just die hard on that side and just be on the conversation with Charlie Kirk and then going back and forth about where they disagree on ideas, that's one thing. But it seems like he's more or less just trying to pander off to say, hey, I'm still cool, guys. Come and watch my show too. I'm up for objective conversation now. I guess he done dehydrated himself with crying all the time. And that's it. It's not about who you vote for particularly. Everybody should expect their elected officials to do things for the betterment of the people. That's why that whole thing goes together, where we elect certain folks so that we don't have millions of people trying to say their piece in some type of hearing. We elect a person to go down there to represent us in a grand sense. So when that person is running, they run on these certain concepts that we as the voting public identify with, and that's how we pick who we running with, or that's how it should be. Now, there's some people that don't care if it lines up with their morals or what they're trying to do. Just, this is the party I'm part of. Like, just even if I don't like what they're talking about, I'm voting this way because they got me over here. I think that that's just dumb as hell. Let me just start that. I don't give a damn what party you part of. If you start talking some goofy shit, I'm not with it. It's as simple as that. Okay, really? And it's very simple. It's very simple. You got to be 100% on what it is that you understand and stand on. You don't just do it because it's popular, because everybody's in the party. Well, they're all doing it, so I'm going to do it. But if you don't really feel like that, then that's disingenuous. Then you become a grifter, where you can't stand on your side, because the second your side is the losing side, now you want to go jump over here. That's all I'm saying. They want to jump. Chink Uygur going to jump over. Like I said, I'm going to finish this out with this Chink Uygur thing, because I got to get to this other piece, okay? I got to get to the other piece because that's what they came for. That's what was in the thumbnail. I know that's what SEO is looking for. So, but I had to cover this piece because I want to have the conversations. We all have to be open to discuss without all the overly emotional crying and shit that Chink likes to do. And that's true. It is about America first. It ain't about who started the party. Nobody asked me when the party started. They didn't invite me to the beginning and the inauguration of nothing. I've never been indoctrinated into any freaking party. Actually, you understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody's ever come to me and said, oh, we now bless you as part of this. No. So don't expect my vote on either side. You talk some shit I like, you got my vote. You talk some shit I don't like, you do not have my vote. You see how that works? It's so simple. It's so simple. The concept is simple to me. I don't know what all this party shit is. That was dumb. I don't know why they did that. I guess it was for money. Like there was a monetary piece of it. So let me give him another, what is it? Man, I'm not giving him 25 minutes. I'm sorry, but I'll give him 2 more minutes of chinkiness, okay? And hopefully I won't get too frustrated. Because see, every time I let him start talking, my monitor goes out. I told you, my monitor has this bullshit detector on it. And if I'm playing bullshit on it, it'll cut out on me because it doesn't want me to see it and poison my brain with it. So, like I said in a previous podcast, to anybody that's wondering about my affiliation, similar to PJ Bell, I'm what's known as an Indepublicrat. I am none of those. I'm all of them, and I'm whoever the hell is talking about what's best for me, my family, and the folks that I really care about. Simple as that. I'm not getting into all the other stuff. I know they insider trading down there. I know they doing dirty stuff down there. But they still have a job to do for the rest of us too. So we're going to hold them accountable for that. First and foremost. Then we can get into the dirty shit. That's what's about to happen. They about to get there. That's what that whole situation was with the government shutdown. They showed all this other stuff. We wasn't even thinking about that. We just thinking, why wouldn't Trump want to pay the people that work for the government? He's crazy. He's trying to shut the whole government down before he even gets there. Then all of a sudden you realize that wasn't even really the setup. That wasn't even really what was going on. It was a whole different thing going on. It was other expenses they was throwing in there. They were trying to send $1 billion to somebody else that we didn't know about. All of a sudden that came out and, oh, okay, all right. But nonetheless, let's give Chink his last 2 minutes of my time, because he is definitely, for lack of he seems like a turncoat right now. And like I said, I respect him having a conversation, but I just don't like him not saying, hey, I was the main proponent on TYT like this. Him and Anna Kasparian. And no, the president, like I said, President Musk, the visible like fruition or whatever, the visible, I got to say this right, because people will get me wrong when I say there's no such thing as President Musk. Elon Musk is a billionaire who does business in America, who has money invested in American government so that he can get certain subsidies to do the shit he does with SpaceX. Elon Musk is no different than any of the other billionaires that have connections to Trump or any of the other government officials. The only difference is he's visible on X because he's all on the tweets and shit like that. But he is the same entity that already runs the government. So appreciate the fact that he's a little bit transparent and we see him making these moves. I see him doing that where he's about to get this money on a defense bill. I see what you're doing, Elon. It's not, you know what I'm saying? I see it. So I'm not upset per se, because he's right out on the front with it. I see what Elon is doing. It's the rest of them billionaires and companies and energy companies and oil companies and all types of different companies that operate within and without the United States, who we don't know nothing about, that invest billions in our government, to have them make certain decisions on regulations and all types of stuff we don't hear nothing about. And we're wondering, why are they sending $1 billion for infrastructure over to India? Because they're building a bunch of technology stops over there, so that they can make, semiconductors and have people get paid at a smaller amount and then ship the shit back to the U.S. But we don't hear nothing about none of that. We don't hear nothing about that. But these are the same billionaires like Elon that invest in that. So you know what? Elon Musk, even though, yeah, we could call it President Musk, but President Musk is just a symbol of what's already going on. The only difference is we could see it. So appreciate the visibility. Don't be upset about it. Say, oh, that's what the hell y'all doing? So when y'all don't like something, you just call your little friends? Yes, that's exactly what happens. Now, in this case, people kind of agreed with what was going on, so it made sense. But let's say they would have brought up the defense spending bill, which would have directly affected Elon Musk's pockets. He might have had a different opinion on how much pork funding was in that, right? But that's what they all do. It's just Elon's ass can't stay out the limelight. So let's let his ass stay visible so we can see him. We don't want them to hide no more. No, come on out. Come on out. We can see right where you at. Come on out. come on out. They're going to cut all types of stuff. That's what I was saying. The whole debt ceiling thing, they would talk about cuts. That's what Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are coming in there to do, is to cut out a bunch of crap. And then people are going to be basically confused by that first. And then while we're watching all that and everybody's flipping out, they're going to be pulling some bullshit in another country. They're going to be pulling a whole bunch of stuff right up under your noses in 1,500-page bills that are getting passed with executive orders. There's going to be all types of stuff we don't see. So I hope Elon is transparent with everything like he was with that. You know how they say keep that same energy? Let's keep that same energy when we talk about the defense bills and your subsidies, sir. Let's keep that same energy on X. That's all I'm saying. Let's keep that same energy when we're talking about the like PJ Bell said, like the next round of tax cuts. Let's keep that same energy and letting the American people know what's really good. Don't just do it on this one because you just wanted to show off real quick with the fact that you could move information that fast. Because it was impressive, to be honest with you, to see that in real time. That was pretty impressive. But let's just keep that same energy. That's all I'm saying.